It's just gone 8:15 now. Armscor is working closely with the National Defence Force in a bid to counter cyber threats. The state-owned Defence and Security Acquisition Agency has created an in-house cybersecurity unit to counter cyber threats to the military. Well, to tell us more about this is Armscor's own security analyst, Sydney Rapo. Sydney, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, when I saw this article, which was in Defence Web and quoting an Armscor newsletter, I thought, wow, this is good. And then I was just wondering, why now? Is it not too late? Because every now and again you read about cybersecurity. You know, there's a consumer side of things. We're told about how we must behave online, but there's institutional issues where you hear about cities like Baltimore in the United States recently that was hacked, and you wonder about our own. So, an overriding question first: is it too little, too late, or has this Armscor cybersecurity unit come at the right time?
It's at the right time. It's never too late. You know what they say, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, but then the next best time is now.
So you feel that you've come at the right time. Now this unit, what will it be doing for Armscor? And we understand because Armscor supports the Department of Defence, it will also be supporting the military. Is that correct?
That's true. So what the unit does is, as a department, it has 3 legs. And then one of the things that we'll be doing is governance and what we call a SOC. And then we have a special projects unit.
What's
as
a
well.
SOC?
Security Operations Center.
So you're going to have a Security Operations Center. That means that center will be monitoring activity in the cyber world and pick up if there are threats that are posed to the military?
Yes. So it will be for internal and external.
Okay. Now, who sits in that center?
It's me and my team. So we're looking at the moment, it's about 20 to 30 people.
Yeah. Now, cybersecurity covers a number of things. I mean, what are the focus areas for your unit?
Okay, our unit, it's monitoring. So we need to be able to know what's happening in the network. We need to know what's happening in the world and in relation to us.
So you're going to be monitoring things like data breaches, for example?
Data breaches, user activity, because sometimes a data breach doesn't look like a data breach. It looks like normal traffic. So you need to be able to say this is normal traffic and something is happening here. Okay,
and the threats, possible threats. I mean, I mentioned Baltimore. I read an article just recently about how the city of Baltimore in the US was hacked,
yes,
allegedly using a tool that had been created by the National Security Agency of America.
Yes.
So how are we when it comes to those kind of possible hackings in that space?
Okay, when it comes to security, you can do everything in your best to secure yourself, you know. So in terms of taking measures, we do take measures, we have taken measures, and I cannot say we are 100% safe because there's no one who's 100% safe. As long as you are connected to the network, there's that threat.
Yeah. Now we live in the world, I mean, it's an overused cliche now, I think, 4th industrial revolution. Yeah. And then under that people talk about artificial intelligence. I mean, will your unit, for example, in Armscor assist? Because people, as you said, they can appear to be something else that they are not on the web. Now, AI is like the new big thing.
Definitely, you need to, that's where the world is going, or where the world is already at, if I may use that. So, for instance, when you're monitoring, if you're monitoring 5 systems, they can bring in 4 million records of logs that you need to go through. So, as analysts, we go through that, but then what you'd want to do is, as you mature the capability, you'd want AI to do that. Because remember, it's a 24-hour, 24/7 thing.
Yeah, just a general question. How do you stay a step ahead? Because, I mean, from what we hear, I'm not a specialist in this space. You are the cybersecurity analyst. How do you stay a step ahead? Because the hackers and other people are also highly qualified and they try and find new ways to fool you.
Yeah. Okay. It's very difficult. You know, I think we have around 7 billion people in the world. So imagine that millions of those people are in IT and in security. So to stay ahead, we are always checking feeds, what's happening out there. And then also we have units in-house which are doing things like pen testing. So we try to hack into our own systems using techniques which are out there.
I guess another side of that will be you need the requisite skills for that. How important in your view is that institutions like Armscor and in the public sector should have the right kind of skills? I mean, aren't local skills very important, especially young people, I mean, like yourselves?
Yeah, no, it's very important. One need, of course, the skill that you'll get from getting people from universities, training institutions, and to add to that, you'd need to train them in-house as well.
So how is Armscor doing as far as the training or skills development of youth, of young people in this area? Are you training quite a lot of young people?
We are. A lot of the guys that we are working with, it's youth. So we do have in-house training.
And these are South Africans?
South Africans.
Okay.
Mostly.
So you said you can't be 100% sure, but are you now, as a cybersecurity analyst for Armscor, at this stage satisfied that you're doing all you can to make sure that our defense system, our military system, because Armscor, you'll be serving that as well, is properly protected cyber-wise?
We are doing our best. And in training, when you get trained in security training, there's a paranoia that gets built into you. So there is more that we can do, and we are doing more.
I can see the way you're answering my questions and the way you look at me, that you're very guarded into how you respond to some of the questions. But the idea for this, for me, was to understand if at all in any of our public institutions. I want to talk to the city of Johannesburg. I've told my colleagues there to find out if a city like Baltimore can be hacked. I mean, what about the city of Johannesburg? You know, and we're trying to get hold of somebody there also who's like you to talk to us, just to give us that comfort and assurance to, as far as possible, that institutions like Armscor, cyber-wise, you are on top of the game.
There are security measures in place. There is monitoring which is taking place in the city of Johannesburg. I think CSIR is doing that. And then there are other measures in place as well.
So we should speak to CSIR. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sydney Rapo, Armscor security analyst, assuring us that it might not be 100%, but Armscor, as the country's defense and security acquisition agency, is doing its best to make sure that we are safe, because most of the unseen wars, so to speak, nowadays are fought in the cyberspace.